Guys, morning. Keith at Crypto Bullseye. How is everyone doing this morning? What you all drinking this morning, guys? I'm drinking an energy drink, dirty energy drink. I can't show you what it is, otherwise YouTube will ban me. But yeah, that's what I'm drinking. Full sugar, guys. Bad for me. I'm sure I'll feel it later on today. But anyway, this one is going to be HBAR. This one's at the request of Kurt Gray. Kurt Gray, more on ADA, HBAR, and XRP. Done one on ADA yesterday. Done that video on Jasmy Coin earlier on, actually. Jasmy Coin's looking really bullish. It just broke out of a range that it's broken out of for the first time in 2025, and it's holding a strong key support, which is the risk factor that I was talking about in the earlier video. So we're not here to talk about Jasmy Coin. We're talking about HBAR. Am I as bullish on HBAR as what I am on Jasmy Coin? I'm not, guys. I'm going to tell you the honest opinion on what I expect to happen on HBAR and give you both scenarios that could play out. Right, okay, let's do the good, the bad, and the ugly on HBAR. So currently it's trading at 15 cents, just under 16 cents actually, 0.15862 to be exact. So am I bullish? Am I bearish? As far as bullish is concerned, guys, something needs to happen. I need to understand that the bulls have regained momentum and started getting traction against the bears. And the only way that we can do that is understand that we break through a resistance level. And this key support zone here was such a key support zone. This is now resistance sitting at 0.168 to 0.176. Now, why is this such significant resistance? Because look here, we've got a rejection point here. This was the previous support during the 2021 bull market. Remember when we had the May 2021 crash? That was a support zone. And we know that once we fall through that, that's going to act as key resistance. We can do other things as well to build weight to our thesis, like add our Fibonacci retracement tool on there from its low to its high. You can see, guys, exactly this area that was support here. Let's get it out. Support, buy up, support, buy up, support, support. Now this is resistance. So that was a 618. It was holding the 618. It's fallen through the 618. This was our next support zone. We bounced off there and we're coming back and we're retesting this 618. And that is now acting as resistance. And guys, there's a higher probability that we're going to get another move to the downside here, at least to test the 78.6% retracement or to test this previous bottom here. Why do I think that? First and foremost, we've got the stochastic on the daily. It looks overbought and it's coming from overbought and it's looking like it's making a move to the downside. That's the first signal. Second thing that I've got is we've got a resistance line here. We can add our trend line. You can see that this is acting as resistance. So what have we got here, guys? We've got double confluence. So it's support, support, support. You fall through, that's resistance. Clues left, you know it's resistance here. You know it was support here. So we know that this is going to be a major barrier that we need to overcome. However, if you're patient, guys, and you're waiting for this to happen, that's one thing that you're doing. You're giving yourself the advantage that you're understanding that the bulls have regained momentum. When if the bulls regain momentum when they take out this previous high here? It's going to be strong when we take out this high. This is the high that we really need to take out. Then you can start seeing accelerations up to the next resistance point, which you'll see is this support zone here, guys. Exactly the same. Support, support, support comes through. Resistance. Expect that to act as resistance. Exactly the same as it did previously here, where we come down and hit this point here. So why do they act as resistance and why do they act as support, guys? Because people are looking at the charts and people are identifying different strategies, different areas. But when you see a build up of price action, that's where people put in their buy orders. That's where people put their sell orders. When something's happened before in the past, that's the only thing people can go by, guys. The data in the past. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. We can go by data by the past. We can analyze that and get probabilities as to exactly what key levels held before, what happens if we drop them, and then would they act as resistance going forward? And that's exactly what's happening now. So we're waiting for the break, guys, on this, and then we can bring the indicators up, and you can see, as far as the RSI is concerned, one of the key things that we need to do is come back and we need to break the 50% level. Once you break the 50% level, guys, that's when you start being bullish. You can do that, and you can just look at the chart here. This is when we were bullish, above the 50, above the 50. What happened when we dropped below? Drop below. That means that we're bearish. So we had a little spike up here. That was rejection. That was a rejection here. You see by the spikes. That was a rejection. We got pushed back down. Now we're at this resistance point here on the RSI. We need to break the 50% level or the 50 level, and then we need to stay above that to turn bullish. So when that happens, guys, that will be when we get the trend break. When we get this trend break, you see it coincide with the RSI coming above the 50. That's going to be the key indication, guys. You will get it at a higher level, but there's a higher probability that we're going to come back down, like I say, test the 78.6%, which is sitting at 0.125, between 0.125, 0.133, or just a little bit less than that. So that's what I'm expecting, guys, but that's how you can plan for it. The next thing, we can look at the volume, guys. We've got no volume here, so you can see that this is just scaling down and scaling down and scaling down. When this breaks through here, if this is backed up by volume, that's another indicator to tell us that there's strength behind that. We looked at the Jasmy coin one earlier on. We've seen this volume spike here. Let's see if I can zoom into that. You can see this volume spike here on the Jasmy coin chart. That broke. That was backed up by volume. Go back and watch the Jasmy coin video from earlier on, because that's a better setup than what HBAR is now, because the Jasmy coin allows for one thing. We've got a tight risk to reward because we've got a little area here, which is my buy zone on Jasmy coin, that if we break below, I'm not interested, guys, and that's where my stop losses would be. So Jasmy coin, we expected it to come back, and we rejected at this level here because that was the support zone here. Exactly the same on HBAR, guys. God, that chart's messy now, isn't it? But ultimately, the aim of the game is to come back and break trend. We could stick the moving averages on actually as well, and we can see that we'll bulk below the moving averages. So we've got a lot of resistance to get through here, guys, a lot of resistance. But once you break the moving averages, once you break the trend, once you break this key level here, then that would be when I turn bullish. It will be buying at higher levels, guys, but it'll be buying with higher confirmation that you're going to get good risk to reward and understanding that the trend is your friend. At the moment, we're in a downtrend. We're in a downtrend. We're in a downtrend. You need to be putting in higher highs and higher lows, and that's the easy way to trade, guys, when you're following the trend. Otherwise, you'd be following it downwards because we're in a bearish trend at the moment. Right, okay, if you did enjoy that video, guys, let me know in the comments. Don't forget, we've got the big video later with Julian Crypto, with Crypto Grit, and then with Warren from Block 3 Finance. So don't forget, stay tuned for that one, and I'll see you in the next one.